Today I want to go over four levels, four layers that what you need to do to go through to become excellent whatever they do. You do. Now, when we look into most people go only for three levels. But if you want to become top 5%, top 2%, top 1%, or even better, you need to find out what is the four levels, four layers. So I'd love to share through how to drive a car analogy and improve and look into how those layers works. So let's get started. So the first level is unconscious and unskilled. So that means that if you want to learn how to drive a car, if you never drove a car, that means you have no idea how to drive a car and you don't have a skill. So that means it's unconscious and unskilled. Now, when you first time sit in a car and you start driving a car for the first time, now you are becoming conscious how to drive, but you are unskilled. So now the second level is conscious but unskilled. So start to understand how to drive a car, but because you never drove a car, you don't know how to use a car properly yet, and there's no skill yet built to be able to properly drive a car. So now, when you're driving for quite some time, a car like 10, 15 times, and of course, now we're moving to the third level. So the third level is conscious and skilled. That means that you know how to drive a car, and now because of practice, you are comfortable driving a car, and you have a skill how to drive a car. And of course, a lot of times people stay there because they are conscious, they look into how to drive a car, they feel comfortable driving a car, and of course, they have a skill to drive the car. But now, the most important level that everyone needs to think about and where everyone needs to go through and try to achieve it, the excellent is when you are becoming unconscious but skilled. So, what it means that when you sit in a car after a lot of years of driving, you are unconscious. You don't need to think about how to drive. So that means when you sit down in a car and you need to go to the perimeter mall or any store that you always go, so that means that you sit in a car, drive to the store, and you never think, oh, how I got there, because you have a skill built in you, so you don't need to think about how to drive. So it gets automatically. So that means we move from unconscious, unskilled to unconscious and skilled. And that is the highest level of excellence when you don't need to think about it and you are skillful in whatever they do. So when you think about any skill in life, if you want to get into the top level, top layer, you need to always do the build in that skill when you are unconscious and skilled. That means you don't need to think about the skill and it just performs automatically. I hope you will achieve some kind of skill in that level.